Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports Talk. We're your hosts, Jared and TJ. And in this video, we'll be breaking down the series the Orioles had just played versus the Royals, which was, how do I say this politely? Very irritating. We won the series, but it was very irritating doing so. Um, it was a three-game series versus the Royals, and it always just seems like we have trouble with the Royals. I mean, we remember 2014, don't we?
Yeah.
Uh, Unfortunately, we don't have it ripped out of our memories. I wish we did, but I mean we don't. But anyways, we're just gonna get right into it. In the first game of the series, we went 11-4. Our top hitters of the day, Adley Rutschman goes 4 for 5, one home run, one RBI and 3 runs scored. Ryan Mountcastle goes three for 6. Wow, that just shows our offense. 6 at bats in the game is insane. Anyway, he goes 3 for 6, 5 RBIs, 2 home runs, and 3 runs scored. Santander goes 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. He doesn't drive in it. He walks once. Let me see. James McCann goes even 3 for 5 with a RBI and a run scored. And Mullins goes 1 for 3 with a run scored as well with 2 RBIs. He scored 11 runs in total, had 15 total hits. And walked 8 times, but struck out 14 times. But or we are kind of free swingers sometimes.
Yeah.
But anyway, our pitching line, our pitchers, Tyler Wells went 6 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, and allowed 3 home runs. Mike Bauman goes 2 thirds of an inning, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, a 1 home run given up. Ciano Perez goes 1/3 of an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts, no home runs given up. Brian Baker goes 1 inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts, no home runs given up. Yennier Cano does give up his first hit, I believe, is an Orioles reliever, but he does give up no runs, no earned runs, no walks, strikes out 1, and ends the game in fashion. Well, with a strikeout. Our pitchers' total line is 9 innings pitched, 7 hits, 7 runs, 7 earned runs, 3 walks, 10 strikeouts, and 4 home runs given up. Now, this game was pretty easy sailing. Well, not really. I shouldn't say that. Let's be real here. The Royals start scoring with a 3-run spot in the bottom of the first. And honestly, that was frustrating coming off a series versus, I believe, the Red Sox, right?
Mm.
No, I'm wrong. Who did
No,
we play last series? The Tigers.
the Tigers. Yes, the
Yeah, okay.
Tigers.
So
Yes.
it was pretty disappointing because, our pitching kind of let us down in the Tiger series. And it started like this 3-0 to a 3 spot in the first inning to a 7-23 team.
Mm.
Slightly disappointing. But the Orioles come back in the fifth to score 5. I mean, the fourth to score 5. Come back in the fifth to score 2 more. Come back in the sixth to score 3 more. Score 1 more in the eighth, while the Royals score 1 in the sixth and 3 in the bottom of the seventh. And honestly, this game was a little closer than I would have liked
Mm.
because I mean, at this point, you're winning 10, I believe 10-4 in the bottom of the seventh, and then you allow a 3-run shot, and guess what? It's 10-7. Now it's a 3-run game. Now it's a Bautista game, which means he has to come in and be inconsistent, to say the least. So luckily, we get 1 in the eighth. How did we get that? By the way, let me check. It's not telling me. It's going to tell me eventually. Oh, Arias singles. Okay, so Arias gets the RBI. So anyway, I just want to, I guess, ask, like, this pitching didn't pitch very well versus the Tigers, and they're already starting the series off versus the Royals like this. Like, this is not a good team. They're 7-23 at this point. 7-23. Not even double-digit wins, and allowing 3 runs in the first inning and 7 runs overall. And this is technically our best pitcher in Tyler Wells at the moment. Is this? I know you've been a big proponent for getting a starter. Does this just drive that want up even more?
It really does, and I feel like when a team that has 7 wins is exposing your pitching, I feel like that makes it even more glaring. That you need a very high caliber, high quality starting pitcher. I mean, because you see, we scored 11 runs. We can obviously score runs. We can keep up with anybody in the league, need be, but our pitching is always making it interesting for us. No matter
Yeah.
what position, we could score. It seems like we could score 10 runs in an inning, and the next inning it'll be 10-8 by the third inning,
Right.
or something like that. So
Honestly, this was Mike Bauman's like first rough outing. Like he's really been a good reliever for us,
yeah.
but really came in and stunk it up. I mean, 3 runs given up is kind of a shame, especially after, I believe Wells goes 6, but gives up 4 on 3 hits, which is insane.
Hmm.
But I don't know. I feel like with Wells giving up 4 to a bad team, it's kind of you're gonna have those a few stinky performances, where you're
Yeah.
not on your A game. Like I think he pitched well versus the Red Sox.
Yeah.
He started the year pitching a no hitter. Not, I mean, he didn't pitch a no hitter, but he finished the game, or was damn close to finish the game. 5 innings, no hit ball, and whatever. But I don't know. It's just very irritating because it feels like business was taken care of, and all of a sudden the bullpen just leaks back into the game.
Yeah.
Leaks to the game. And it's just upsetting. But we won, so I guess we can't do too much complaining. But this might be an issue versus better teams.
Hmm.
So anyway, our next game we play, we lose 6-0, and the Royals get their 8th win. We got our 10th loss. Our top hitters are absolutely nobody because he had 6 hits and no runs scored. You walked only once, and you struck out 6 times, so 8 less than you did in the last game. But congratulations, you scored no runs. Kyle Gibson goes 6 2/3, 10 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts, and 1 home run given up. Keegan Egan finishes the rest of the game 1 1/3, 3 hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, no strikeouts, no home runs given up. Um, Kansas City puts 1 in the 4th, puts 1 in the 6th, then puts 4 in the 7th to finally put the game away. And the offense disappeared, and that's a shame because, I mean, Kyle Gibson was brought out in the 7th inning and just fell apart. I mean, 4 runs to finally put the game. I mean, at the point it was 2-0, and our offense couldn't do nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, Vinny Pasquantino has just been. I know how
Oh
you
my
feel about
God.
him, but he
Yo,
was
yo,
tearing us apart. I mean, look, 4th inning, Vinny Pasquantino homer to right, 1-0. Vinny Pasquantino doubles to right. Bobby Witt scores 2-0. Vinny Pasquantino doubles to right. Witt scores 6-0. So it's like he was tearing us apart, and it's always that one guy every series seems like that kills us.
Yeah. And I'm still trying to look for our offense. Like, first 48 Dateline, like where are they? We need
Right.
help finding them because they just completely vanished on us without a trace. But I feel like this game was very embarrassing,
Yeah.
and especially for Kyle Gibson, got his first loss, I believe, 10 hits to a now 8-win team, a team that has old players and young players that aren't even proven yet, and we've never heard of. Let's just be for real. No, no disrespect, but respectfully, we never heard of them,
Mhm.
you know, and we're allowing them to get 10 hits and 6 runs on us like that. It's embarrassing.
I agree. And I don't know.
And
This series, we won the series, but it felt weird. It was a very weird series. It felt moral victories are out of the window at this point. Where we want to be a contending team. And this just felt like a throwaway game, in my opinion. Like it just felt like one of those games to me. And the Ryan O'Hearn experiment at first base has kind of gotten on my nerves. He kind of he it says he didn't record any errors, but it just felt like a lot of like baseballs were getting past him, and he couldn't pick up baseballs or whatever. It was just kind of embarrassing, and I mean, I don't know, 6-0 though, like shutout, really?
mhm,
Like he couldn't score at least one. Like I don't even care if it was just a home run. Like 6-0, really?
mhm.
And let me see, Greinke pitched 5 great innings, right? And only had 44 pitches, and they
and
took him
and
out.
and it's crazy because listen, Greinke's having a down year so far, but of course against us he returns to his old self.
Right, exactly. So that's disappointing. um, he allowed half of the hits. He allowed 3, and we only got 1 off of each reliever after that.
Mhm.
So just the offense, we need a true detective in here to look for that. So anyway, now we get Jordan Lyles to pitch versus the Orioles. For you to remind you, Jordan Lyles was pitching for us last season. was an innings eater. That's what they call. He's very hungry for innings. A guy who even if he's given up 3 or 4 runs, you want him to go 7 to save the bullpen. So anyway, our top hitters. Um, I just lost it. Oh, here it goes. Anthony Santander goes 2 for 5, has a home run, 2 RBIs, 1 run scored. Adam Frazier goes 2 for 3. No home runs, 4 runs scored. So he scored 4 runs, but didn't drive in anybody. That's crazy. Jorge Mateo goes 1 for 4, 1 RBI, 2 runs scored. Gunnar Henderson goes 1 for 2 with a home run, 2 RBIs and 2 runs scored. And Arias was the MVP of this game. Goes 2 for 2,
Oh
four
yeah.
RBIs. He's a pinch hitter. 2 for 2, 4 RBIs is insane. Like MVP of
And
the game, saved the game.
yeah. And I remember we were watching the game together. We were watching the game together actually. I remember,
Yeah,
you had some words about him and he came through. So,
I can probably find the text message
yeah. I
real
mean, listen,
quick.
I would say you know how to get the best out of our guys. Maybe you should be a coach on the team.
I
You
says
know.
Arias comes up with the bases loaded, I believe here.
Mhm.
It says, I say, Arias sucks. And I don't mean that, I don't think he sucks. I think he's a pretty good, player. But at the moment, I thought he sucked, and he proved me wrong. So very glad
Hey,
that
those two words are all it takes for somebody to be good when it comes to
right.
Jared. He just
We need
does
to
that
go to
magic on.
games and I want to yell really loud, hey, you suck. And they're gonna be like, oh, it's a grand slam.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. Those two words are all it takes.
yep. And they're like, shut up, kid. Like anyway, so our pitching line. Grace Rodriguez gets absolutely knocked around. It's batting practice. It's embarrassing. Don't want to go too hard on him because he's like I said, coming back from injury. Has ramp things back up. Goes 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 3 home runs given up. Ciano Perez goes 1 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, no strikeouts, no home runs given up. Brian Baker goes 1/3 of an inning, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, two walks, no strikeouts, no home runs. Danny Coulomb goes 2/3 of an inning, goes 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, no home runs given up. And I want to say, Coulomb comes in with the bases loaded in 1 out and just shuts the door down. Like what a beast!
Mhm.
But then he gives up 2 runs the next inning, so I guess he's not that much of a beast. No, here's the real beast. Yennier Cano comes in, goes 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, no home runs. And then Bautista comes in. Now, let me just remind you, Yennier Cano pitched 2 innings, struck out 3 people, and threw 32 pitches. It's acceptable for 2 innings.
Mhm.
Felix Bautista comes in for 1 inning, allows 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, no home runs, and pitches the same amount of pitches as Cano pitched 2 innings.
I think that F in Bautista's name stands for fraud. No, I'm just playing, but you know, it's not an Orioles game. It seems like this. It seems like it's not an Orioles game unless we have a starting basketball lineup when it comes to how many pitchers has pitched in the game. I mean, 6 pitchers is crazy. And
I mean,
especially
when your
guys like
starter's going 3 2/3,
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's just
And then, we have guys like Coulomb, who got himself in, some trouble and he had to come up the inning early. We need to start keeping a lot of our guys fresh. And that's when it comes into helping each other. We can't get ourselves in these jams like this, especially against an 8-win team like the
right.
Royals.
And
You know,
another thing, I mean, you got to help out the bullpen, the starters. I mean,
yeah,
3 2/3. I mean, I get Grace Rodriguez, 3 2/3 is not ideal, but I mean, 13-10
yeah.
versus the Royals, one of the worst offenses in the league.
Hmm.
So let me just not. I'm not even telling the full picture here because look, we score 5 in the first 2 innings, 5-0. Garcia hits a home run. It's 5-1. Now it's 6-1. Now by the third inning, it's 8-1. Gunnar Henderson hits a bomb, and then it's 8-2, and then it's 8-4, and then it's 8-5, and then it's 8-6, and then it's 8-7, and then we're tied at 8, and then all of a sudden now we're losing 8-9 in the seventh. And then Arias comes in, makes it 10-9. Arias comes in again the ninth, makes it 12-9. Frazier gets a base hit, it's 13-9. They score another one to make it 13-10. But I mean, look, it's just frustrating because it seemed like nobody besides Cano gave up a run because that's what the stats were. Cano didn't give up a run. I mean, Cano, he's the freaking best player on this team. His pitcher in the bullpen right
Yeah.
now. Felix has nasty stuff, but he doesn't know how to use it right now.
It's commanding
Cano,
off. Yeah.
Cano is just the beast. Comes in and it's just the whole everybody in the bullpen could like fall like face first on the ground and give up 3 runs a pitcher. But Cano will come in and pitch 2 innings and have 3 strikeouts with no
Mm.
runs, no hits. He's just crazy.
And
So I'm glad we put
honestly,
breath of fresh air in there. And go ahead.
right. And honestly, I want to start seeing Cano have some opportunities for saves. I really see him in that
Right,
pressure, how he's going to be like. Because I really feel like, he'll perform well.
right.
And another thing I wanted to point out, and we kind of touched on it earlier, it seems like our guys, when we bring in, our relievers, they're not pitching full innings. It's always 2/3 of an inning, three, 3/3. How is it pronounced again?
2/3 of an inning, yeah.
Two
One
thirds
third
of
of
an
an
inning.
inning.
Yeah, 2/3, 1/3 of an inning. It's not the full inning. And it's just like, it seems like it's just a waste, to
Right.
bring them in.
I
And
mean, usually High does that for like matchup concerns or whatever, as I turn on my PS5 for no reason. But I do think that you need to leave them in for the inning. But I mean,
yeah.
it's a lot of analytics driven. So like it's not really like pitchers don't go an inning anymore. They'll even just go in for 2/3 of an inning and then like because you have to face 3 batters, which is usually an inning if you get all 3 outs. But usually it'll be like, oh, they'll get the first two, allow a base hit. Now right-handers coming up, and you have a right-hander in, or you have a left-hander in. Let's bring in a right-hander. So like, let's say Perez is in, has 2 lefties to face, or three, like he has 3 lefties to face, right? Gets the
Mhm.
first 2 out, one gets on base. The next one's a righty. He does bad against righties. Who you bring in? You bring in Cano now, who faces good against righty. So I wouldn't say necessarily a waste, but I understand where you're coming from because I would like to see him finish the inning because the only way you can get better against your weaknesses is by practice
Facing them.
and facing them, right?
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, you don't want to face them, and then you're winning 3-0. Perez allows a base hit to a left-hander. Now he has to face a right-hander. Boom, game tied, or game you're losing. You're only winning by 1 now. So
That happens anyway.
right.
So like,
We
I
have
get what you're
words about
saying,
Perez, so
but
yeah.
yeah.
But no, I definitely agree. We're gonna start doing this. I think at the end of the series we're gonna rate how we feel at the end of like how the series made us feel, on a happy scale, on a sad scale. I think for confidence, it's definitely 0 out of 5. Especially with our pitching. Offense, confidence, probably 5 out of 5. Well, besides the second game. Actually, because of the second game, it's gonna be like 4.
Yeah.
But it seems like they can hang with a shootout. Overall, how it made me feel, just not very good. Watching
Yeah.
that game, it was a 2 o'clock game. It made me feel like crap because I
Mm.
was getting mad. I was getting irritated to watching my team blow an 8-1 lead. I feel like I was watching the damn Ravens. So, well, how would you grade this series out of confidence?
Um, out of 5, right? Out of 5.
Yeah.
Like a 3.5 out of 5.
How would you grade it confidence for pitching?
2.5 out of 5.
How would you grade it at offense?
I say
Confidence.
4 out of 5.
Overall, how did the series make you feel? It's not out of 5. It's just your opinion.
It, I feel like every series I always leave concerned about the pitching.
Right.
And like how you said, listen, analytics are cool to go by, but I feel like you shouldn't go too into them. You shouldn't rely on them all the time to make your decisions. I mean, and that's kind of like just touching on the Ravens. That's kind of what John Harbaugh does sometimes. But anyways, I feel like you have to have a good balance between analytics and just knowing situational baseball. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? If a guy is in a groove and all of a sudden he goes up against a guy who in the past he's allowed a lot of hits to, I feel like you shouldn't mess up his groove. I should feel like you just let it play out, let it ride out, let it see what he can do. Just have some faith in your guys. Because why is he on your team? Why is he on the starting team if you don't have faith in him? Especially in baseball, you can just easily send him right back down. Like you
I
putting a
think
guy in a
I think
position.
I don't mean to cut you off, but like it's just while yes, I agree, analytics taking over the sport. I mean they've been taking over the sport. And it's like a lot of stuff is analytic driven. At the same time, it's like you can go with your gut, and then the wrong thing can happen. But the same thing can happen with analytics. I think either way you can be burned, or either way you can be succeeded. It's just going to be a matter of because it seems like there some of our bullpen guys come in like Baker or Perez, even Coulomb. They'll come in and they like you can tell, oh, this is going to be a good outing, or you can tell, oh, this is going to be a good outing. Their velocity's up, they're getting guys to swing and miss, but sometimes they come in and they're throwing fastballs up here, curveballs in the dirt, curveball over in the backstop over here. It's like so. It's just if we had a little bit more consistency, I think it'd be easier on Hyde. But Hyde is kind of playing a game where it's like, shit, do I want to bring in Baker here or Perez? Who's going to be on? Who's going to be off? Now, you may lean towards Baker because Perez is going to be off more 9 times out of 10 right now this season, but Baker might be on 9 times out of 10. It's just what if it's just that one chance? One chance. It might be analytics driven to bring in Baker, but let's say you don't want to roll that dice. It may be analytics driven to bring in Perez, but you don't want to roll that dice. So you bring in Baker, and let's say he's not on his game. There's really nothing you could do about that besides let him face the 3 batters minimum that he needs to face, and then if he doesn't do well, take him out.
Yeah,
So it's such a difficult game as a manager, but sometimes it does feel like Hyde overmanages the bullpen, and it's a little frustrating
yeah.
because you could tell a lot of the stuff that he does is analytics driven, and it's a teeny bit irritating and confusing, especially when they mess up.
Hmm.
So I definitely do agree that sometimes you need to do gut feeling, like screw the analytics. Let's just do. I feel that Cano's best for the situation. I feel that Coulom's better for the situation. Cano is really in for, setup man and getting the job out of jams, but and then Batista is just every time he comes in, you hold your breath. You kind of know what you're getting now. He might walk 2 guys, and he might put two guys on, but sometimes he gets them out, sometimes he doesn't. It's
Hmm.
a, it's a nasty. Our bullpen is Russian roulette. It's literally it. Anyway, to change topic, do you got anything else left to say?
Um, well, you actually you when you interjected, you actually kind of filled out, a little bit what I was gonna say. So
Mhm.
I feel like that's all, I feel like we
Right.
covered everything.
And sports and baseball in particular really is a gamble. You really got to make sure, or you're, especially with the Orioles, it's like you're on, you're off. When the offense is off, it's bad, but when it's on, it can be dangerous. One of the
Hmm.
best offenses is in the league, and then sometimes it's like Baker when he's on, he could look like the best reliever in the game. Same thing with Perez. Perez has been very much off most of the season, so I'm very concerned about him. So, well, we'll discuss about him a little bit more in another video. But I think this is all we have for this year's recap versus the Royals. Unless you have any last words.
Nope, that's all.
All right, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Reddit, whatever it is. Just share whatever.
Just do
Um,
it.
right, exactly. And more birds of prey, and we're out.
We're out.